Hey, Anthony,
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on the Trump administration's new national security strategy?
I think it's a really dangerous strategy, not the least of which is because there are parts of it that sound really good on a first read. Although, when they're considered in the broader context of the Trump administration's actions and rhetoric, they show themselves to be deliberately deceptive at best, if not downright fascist and anti American at worst.
What do those parts say?
Well, the most concerning is the one that everybody's talking about, where the Trump administration applies that Europe is weak and that the best way to restore Europe is to, first of all, dissolve the European Union, which the Trump administration is claiming infringes upon the political liberty of its member states, and then by courting far right parties in Europe, and finally by promoting the relation of Russia with European states and quickly ending the war in Ukraine, presumably in Russia's favor, as we've seen the Trump administration try to do so several times. Second most concerning to me is the imperialist attitude towards Latin America, where the Trump administration refers to the outdated Monroe Doctrine to justify interfering in sovereign Latin American affairs by, quote, protecting them from interfering non hemispheric powers, and talking about using economic and military pressure to encourage Latin American countries to make us their partner of first choice. We've seen a lot of encouragement that the U.S. has done in Latin America over the past decades, and the fact that the Trump administration wants more of the same is not particularly surprising, but certainly a step backwards for the United States. And then there are other parts of the document that sound good at first glance, but are directly contradicted by the actions of the Trump administration. For example, they talk about wanting resilient national infrastructure that can withstand national disasters and outside interference, but the Trump administration has issued executive orders that weaken domestic cybersecurity protections for the U.S., probably the biggest threat to national infrastructure, and issued other orders that weaken our responses to natural disasters that could threaten the physical infrastructure itself. They also claim to want the strongest, most dynamic, most innovative, and advanced economy, while the Trump administration actively removes regulatory bodies and social safety nets that protect the American workers that form the base of that economy. And they claim to want to maintain the United States' unrivaled soft power in the world while actively dissolving some of the very things that make up that soft power, such as U.S. aid. There's a whole bunch of other things that they claim to want in the document. It's 29 pages and available on the White House website. But in almost every case, the Trump administration's actual actions have either contradicted the claims of what they want, or the claims themselves are worded in a way to make it sound beneficial to the U.S., but they actually work against the U.S. interests on a global scale, or work to promote the very ideas of fascism that the Trump administration is currently trying to forward in the U.S.